with knowing what happened to my daughter, to know that could have been prevented.
No, because
tonight, the family of 23-year-old Cayla Wilson is speaking out after a $9.3 million settlement was awarded to their daughter. Wilson is permanently brain damaged now after a crash that they say could have been prevented. We are asking the city of Portland and Clackamas County tonight if they will be changing any policies after word of this settlement.
Cayla Wilson was pregnant when her car was hit by a man named Jack Dean Whitaker. This was back in 2010. Whitaker was high on meth, yet still wasn't arrested, even though he was stopped twice by a Portland police officer. Jessica Morkert, Getting Answers, joins us live with more. Jessica?
And Jeff, I checked with the city and they tell me the officer involved with this followed the Department of Justice guidelines. Still, the family feels that Jack Whitaker should have been arrested.
God chose to let her live. She started breathing the fourth day, I want to say, because the second day they wanted us to pull the plug knife.
Cayla Wilson was 19 years old and 5 months pregnant when she started heading home to Gresham after a job interview. While passing through southeast Portland, 54-year-old Jack Dean Whitaker, drugged out on meth, slammed into her Buick. Now, 4 years later, the 23-year-old has a daughter, but hasn't been able to hold her after suffering from severe brain damage.
It's not going to give us back what we once had. But you know, our daughter is still taking breaths.
Cayla's
and she's breathing on her own, and she's a fighter.
Bill and Denise Whitaker say $9.4 million will help take care of Cayla for the rest of her life. $4.8 million stems from Clackamas County's community corrections and the parole officer. The family's attorneys say didn't keep track of Whitaker properly, even after he blew off visits. The remaining $4.5 comes from the city of Portland and the officer who responded to 2 911 calls involving Whitaker the day of the crash.
Hour and a half, 2 hours later, it happened to my daughter, and it could have been prevented if she would have just took that extra step. I think that one extra step, and then my daughter could be living a normal life.
The family's attorney argues Portland police officer Devonna Dick responded to calls involving Whitaker, but never arrested or detained him, even with reports about erratic behavior. I asked the city, did Officer Devonna Dick follow policy?
Absolutely. The city's position from the beginning was the procedure was followed and policy was followed. Absolutely. Now, that's cold comfort when it's your child we're talking about, and we get that as well.
A spokesperson tells me the officer followed Department of Justice guidelines and did not witness behavior enough for an arrest.
They do have to live with knowing what happened to my daughter, to know that could have been prevented. And I think that's going to be tough on the both of them.
Now, the jury was out for about 15 minutes before a settlement was reached. I checked with the city, and they say that policy won't be changed in this case. I also checked with Clackamas County, and they have not returned my calls today. Live in downtown Portland, Jessica Morkert, Quinn 6 News.